Hello, everybody. So, I just kind of wanted to touch base with everyone and show you where I was at. So, I took the crazy platformer and actually modified the backgrounds, and I modified the platforms. I added the plants, and I adjusted it for my home computer so it's not crazy. I didn't do anything to the player, and I added this. Yes, the game Space Chase GUI. So it's actually stealing the GUI from the other game. And so the reason I modified backgrounds is because the rings, well, now I'll show you backgrounds. So the reason I modified it was to be able to add this variable into the fragment shader so that as the color comes through, its dim color is set equal to the color that's coming through. In this case, it's vector 3. Okay. So then we're going to decide whether to multiply that color that came through the graphics pipeline by 0.3 on every component. So it's just going to dim it. Okay, so we're setting our dim color right here. If this becomes true, then we're resetting the dim color to be even super dim. Okay, and this just happens to be the number that we're considering here, the 420. For all you 420 fans, there you go. So anyways, if it's that, so that would be the left side of the screen, because in screen coordinates it goes from 0 to, oh, that's wild. Visual Studio is just crazy. Anyways, it goes from 0 to 1920 or whatever the viewport is set at. Anyways, so that's pretty much it for the background, the planetary rings. Okay, and then the plants. Okay, so you may remember, you may actually remember the well, let me just show you, because they're the lavender plants that I made previously, and I just put them in the game. However, when I initialized the data for them, obviously instead of putting them in nice organized little rows on the screen, I put them inside the platform class so that they would have access to the box, the collision box for the platforms. And I just put the plants just located right on top. I selected a random number after the because what actually happens with the with each of the boxes that it goes through, it calculates the top, bottom, left, and right, and saves it in the collision top, bottom, left, and right. Okay, so each of the boxes that contains the dots actually has a index, and therefore when I was creating this is where the initial position for each flower was previously, and it was modulated with the k variable, and then now it's actually modulated with a random. It chooses a random box, and then from that index of boxes, it will start the flower on the left, from the left side of the box, plus what I did was I subtracted the right side from the left side, so that gives you the width of the box, and then you multiply it by another random from 0 to 100 here, so that goes from 0 divided by 100, which is 0, to 100, which is 1, so it goes from 0 to 1, and there's 100 variations on that. So there's 100 little spots that each box can house a plant, and then of course you just set the y variable to the top of the box, and otherwise the code is the same. I did modify this because I put it in here so that because they all started out true, and what happened was it looked like there was some wind blowing in from the side, and this way it looks like they're all just starting random and they all just go random directions, and it's just like cool to look at, kind of. Anyways, so that was actually pretty easy. I copied the code almost verbatim. and it was great. I just added it right into the class. So I made sure I had a little checklist too. Put in the data and the constants are up here. All these constants that I painstakingly calculated once upon a time. So I'm putting those to use now to show off my talents, I guess you could say. Oh, and then I still have this in there too. So if you hit the O, it's the platform is those. And I think it looks a little bit more solid this way. So I kind of like this as my favorite. But anyways, it's absolutely it's the beginning of something that I think is going to be gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to developing that further. Anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for much, much more.